On Wednesday, July the 23rd at about 5 p.m., a group of core members were in a room. They say they were charging their devices and they heard a knock on the door. And the next thing they say the door was kicked in and some men came in and dragged them out, said that they were suspected of being engaged in cyber fraud, homosexuality, and the rest. And what ensued after is a very sad tale. One of the core members was stripped by those men. Those men, men of the Udogachi security outfit in Anambra State, or they were men of the Udogachi security outfit in Anambra State. We can't show you all of the video because, of course, we want to protect the lady, and these are not things that you should even see or you can see on television. It's a very sad event. It has scarred the lady for life. But what exactly played out? What is being done to ensure that justice is done for this lady and the other core members? Well, we're joined on the program this morning by a representative of the state government, Mr. Ken Emeakai. He's a special advisor to Governor Charles Soludo on community security. He joins us via Zoom this morning. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Well,
thank you for having me.
It's good to have you to speak to this very sad event. First, can you provide a backstory as to what you know about this event? Because you, of course, are in the know. You are the special advisor on community security under whom the Udogachi security outfit operates. So speak to us about what you know about this event to begin with.
Thank you. First and foremost, I have to begin by saying that what happened in the course of the security, the operatives doing their job, what happened in that process was quite unfortunate. What happened in that process was quite unfortunate. Now, the gravamen of the matter is that the members of Agone Chamber, because there is this confusion about Agone Chamber and Udogachi. Just like you mentioned now, you call it them Udogachi. Yes, Udogachi is an operational name. Udogachi is not just about the state security outfit. Udogachi encompasses the Nigeria Police, the Army, the DSS, the Civil Defense, all the federal agencies, security agencies in Anambra State, plus the state security outfit. So that is Operation Udogachi. It's an operational code name to handle issues just like a security joint task force. But Agone Chamber is the state security outfit. Agone Chamber itself is a creation of the law of Anambra State. It's a creation of the Homeland Security Law. And if you go by the Homeland Security Law 2025, where you find the powers and the functions of Agone Chamber, because it is important that we understand the powers and functions of the security outfit. As I said earlier, we are not trying to justify the overzealousness or the error or the infringement on the rights of the people of the particular victim you mentioned about. We're not justifying that. Like I said, it was unfortunate that happened. But I'll begin by enumerating that the powers of Agone Chamber in the state, I'm having the Homeland Security Law here with me, the Anambra State Homeland Security Law 2025. If you come to Section 5, I'll just take you to Section 5E and F of the Homeland Security Law. It says the Agone Chamber have powers to enter and search any compound into which a questionable person runs while being pursued. The Agone Chamber have powers to form special forces or squads for the purpose of tackling, kidnapping, banditry, consumption of illicit drugs, cultism, robbery, and any other violent crimes in the state. Now, what happened on that fateful day was that because the argument chamber, we have argument chamber at 3 different levels, though all of them under the purview and the supervision oversight functions of the state command. You have the argument chamber at the community level. We have the argument chamber at the local government level and then at the state. Now, the community unit of argument chamber in Oba town were chasing, in conjunction with the state command strike force, we are chasing after a group of cultists, suspected cultists, who were riding on about 12 motorcycles, from what we were told. Now, in the course of that pursuit, the cultists, the suspected cultists, ran into an area, an isolated area, and in the process, ran also into some houses there. And the operatives, in the exercise of their functions, as I just read out now, in the exercise and in conformity with their powers in section 5, F, E and F of the Homeland Security Law, pursued them into those compounds. And from what we were told, they got to the compound, some people ran into different rooms within that compound. So they went to these places and knocked to bring out the people. They brought them out to screen them, to identify which, and from what they said, and from even what the victim narrated to me, that they were about, I think they were more than 10 or so in a room. So the operatives went to that place and they were going, searching those buildings. And it was not just that building that was in that compound. So that was what led to them going there. So what took them to that place in the first place was their pursuit after a group of suspected cultists, which is in line with our mandate. So, as I said earlier, while trying to screen them, we do not rule out this issue of human errors, because this is human endeavor. So that unfortunate incident happened. And immediately that happened, I was surprised. I'm just surprised to hear that someone is talking about trying to sweep under the carpet. Immediately that the incident happened, we got the report immediately. And the first step we took was we arrested the operatives. We arrested the operatives involved in that act. Then detained them. They were with us because our practice is when an incident involves our own operatives,
right,
what we do is we arrest them, carry out our preliminary investigations, then get the complainants or the victims involved, interview the victims and the complainants alongside with our own operatives in order to determine the level of what action to take, whether it is something that we can handle by internal disciplinary measures or something that we have to prosecute. So in this case, in the instant case, we arrested our people, then invited the victims. The victims came to my office, accompanied by the local government coordinator of NYSC. They came to my office, and we brought everybody together to hear them out. In the end, our views was that our men who went on that assignment, though they went on a legitimate, a legal assignment, but their actions, the act carried out there was unacceptable.
So let me be clear, Mr. Zekai. Their modus operandi first is questionable. Is it right for them to kick a door in? I mean, I imagine for you to gain access to a house, we see it in other crimes, at least you knock They said that they were going to open the door, but the door was kicked in. And then,
no, I am not sure that was what happened.
Just a second, Mr. Ezekai. Let me land on the question so you can respond to it. Mr. Ezekai, if you can hear me, just a second so I can lay out all the issues so you can respond to them. So that's one. Second, I imagine that it is not part of their MO to drag a lady out and deliberately strip her of her clothing while beating her. Is that part of the MO as well, to beat people and then strip a woman naked and continue beating her while she was naked? Is that part of the MO as well?
No, absolutely no. It was not part of their duty. That was why I said that the act, that in the process of carrying out their legitimate duties, that the act that followed, that what they did next was unacceptable, that it was wrong. It was not part of their duty to beat up anybody or to strip anybody, which was why we arrested them. If we didn't see it that they committed an infringement of the law, we wouldn't have arrested them. We arrested them, recorded their statements, then invited the victims, recorded their statements as well. And from their statements, we were convinced that a prima facie case has been established against those operatives. So we were prepared to prosecute them, to press charges against them. Now, to press charges against them, remember, as I said earlier, that what we do is, if a complaint involves our operatives, we arrest our operatives, bring the complainants or the victims, interview them to establish the nature of the offense that has been committed by our people, to determine whether it is something we can handle by our internal disciplinary measures or something we now move over to the police for prosecution. Now, in the instant case, we observed, and we agreed totally that it is outside the purview of their mandate, and that what they did was totally against the law. So in that case, we were prepared to hand them over to the police for prosecution. However, in the course of that interview, because as I said earlier, the ladies in question, two of them came to my office. They were brought to my office. And in the company of the local government coordinator of NYSC in Idemili South local government area, because the incident happened at Oba. Now, after listening to all of them and trying to find out what they would want us to do, because we have to be sure, we have cases where such things, it may not be to that magnitude, will happen, and the person, the victim or the complainant, will decline pressing charges. So in the instant case, the people involved, from what they told me in my own office, they were not readily prepared to press charges. They were not readily prepared to press charges for some obvious reasons. And our men were also in contact with their family members. Now, for the same reason, for the same purpose, you are not going to play the entire video. That was the same reason that was canvassed why they may not want the matter in court. Because for the matter to be successfully prosecuted in court, you have to tender evidence. And from that school of thought, tendering the evidence may go a long way in placing a not palatable tag on the young woman in question. Now, that being the case, why I said they were not readily prepared for prosecution. As I speak to you, in my office here, we have their case file. We are ready today, tomorrow, to move them with their case file to the police if they are now willing and ready for prosecution.
All right, so let me.
But before then, it is pertinent, it is important to point out here that they had given us, that is to further adumbrate that they were not readily prepared for prosecution. They had listed out what they lost, the damages, and all whatnot. And the security outfit had already paid. I am not saying that paying for those things
if I may come in
the justification, but I'm just trying to say that at that point, it was because they were not readily prepared.
I think your point is well noted, Mr. Mekai. My apologies. Yes, if you can hear me, sir. I think your point is well noted. I don't think there's any compensation that will surface for what happened to that lady. Our dignity is in ruins. Our dignity is in ruins. I don't know what amount anybody is going to pay as far as it's concerned. We don't know. Maybe the family may make up their mind to tomorrow to prosecute or not. That's a different kettle of fish. We're having this conversation simply for one reason. The only reason we're having this conversation is because there's a video evidence. That's the only reason we're having this conversation. Maybe those guys would have denied. Maybe others would have denied as well that this never happened. It would have been their word against.
I'm sorry. It is not in our character. It is not in our character to deny.
Mr. Mekai,
I can tell you, I can give you instances.
Mr. Mekai, just hold on for a moment. If you allow me to land on my thought, you'll be able to appreciate where I'm coming from.
I'm sorry about that.
I said that we're having this conversation and it's causing all of this outrage and public outcry because there's video evidence. As it would have been the gentleman's words against the lady's words, even if you go to court, because you have to present evidence. Oh, they beat me, they stripped me naked, where's the evidence? That's what the court would naturally ask. So that's why I said we're having this conversation. So that brings to question a lot of things about the operation of Agone Chamber. As noble, as fantastic as local security network is, we have been canvassing for state security, but we need to ask very serious question. What kind of training do these gentlemen undergo? That is a very important question I would like you to respond to. Because I do not know how somebody who underwent any form of training on one hand, and anybody who is properly trained at home will be in the line of duty beating a lady for whatever reason, trying to arrest her. And then there's that back and forth. Drag her clothes, strip her, seeing that she's naked. If you were trained from home, seeing that she's naked, you will take another action, at least to cover her dignity, and then continue what you're doing. They stripped her, they stripped her naked, at least just what was left on her waist, and they continue to beat her. No conscience, nothing. So what kind of training do these gentlemen undergo? I would like you to respond to that question, because they don't look that they were trained.
Thank you. As I will always continue to emphasize that the actions, the act under reference is totally unacceptable, is condemnable, right? Which is why not only that we are taking it the way we have taken it, the men in question are not in the service as we speak, but they are within our reach. They're not in the service because the act is totally unacceptable and condemnable. Now, coming to training. First and foremost, the Agone Chamber State Command. The governor of Anambra State, Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, as a system person, he is a governor, is a man who believes in the system, who believes in the rule of law, who believes in doing everything within the ambit of the law. He, as the chair, he is the chief security officer of the state, and by the law, he is the chairman of the security outfit in the state. In that capacity, he made an application to the Nigerian Police Force, to the Inspector General of Police, through the Commissioner of Police Anambra State, for a proper training of the security outfit by the Nigerian Police. The Inspector General of Police graciously approved the request. And the Nigerian Police has concluded training of the Agune Chamber at the state command. The next stage is for them to train the local government and the community level. Even though most of the community levels have undergone training by their various DPOs and the area command, but the governor wants to make double assurance double by bringing both the states, both the community and local government for a retraining. The state command has undergone a retraining, so they are properly trained. And you will agree with me that these things are not isolated. The issue of people going outside their mandate, people going outside even their training, their rules of engagement is not isolated. You will agree with me equally, though not justifying, as I continue to maintain that the act itself is condemnable and unacceptable. But the issue of having told you or having explained that they were properly trained, that does not remove the fact, because all over the globe, even in Nigeria, the federal security agencies with all the trainings will still find amongst them, because in every 12 there must be a Judas, we still find amongst them some acting unprofessionally. So what the system will do and will keep doing is to continue to fish out the bad ones. Okay. Any person who is, any of the operatives who is not ready to abide by the tenets of the profession should give way.
All right, Mr. Emeka, you raised some very vital points. So in continuation of X-raying, auditing of the members of the personnel, so what are the conditions, President, that must be met before anybody can join Agune Chamber? And I wanted to find out, I pray I don't forget this. Let me ask it now together. So first, what do you look out for before the person's record? Criminal records, you know, all the records. What kind of record do you look out for before somebody is a member of Agune Chamber? That's one. Two, why don't they wear a form of uniform for identification? Because I'm imagining, if I have a licensed gun in my house, and somebody like those men barge into my house like that, I may take them out to protect myself and my family. And I'm ready to go to court to defend myself and my family. Why are they not in uniform?
No, beginning with the last question of...
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. All right, oh dear. Okay. Can you hear us, sir? Mr. Ken, can you hear us, sir? Mr. Emeka, can you hear us? Oh dear. I think we had just a bit of a mix-up, but we'll get back to Mr. Emeka, because for me, I wanted to know what the background is, Kayode, as to, you know, before you join our Nigerian police, they will do background check on you, some physical things, some record and health and all of that, to make sure you are the right set of persons. Okay, Mr. Emeka, you understand your back. You can respond, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Just like you pointed out now about the Nigerian police, before you join them, they do all these background checks. And even with that, you will agree with me that even with all that, we still have some cases of abuse and misuse of things. Now, on our part, the Agune Chamber, similar, we do background check of each person. In fact, we conducted profiling, security profiling of each person. Before recruitment, there must be profiling, security profiling, to both criminal records, to check the person's criminal records and every other thing, health status, everything, family background and everything. But as I keep saying, you cannot possibly rule out the human angle to all these things. Despite all these checks, despite all these background checks, as I have always said, not actually trying to copy anything or justify anything. But even with the Nigerian Army, the DSS, all these other agencies, security agencies that we are trained, some have been trained outside Nigeria, you still find some bad acts, you still find some abuses here and there. So these are human errors.
All right.
So they, in terms of your question, yes, we do background check.
All right.
We profile them. We have their records. We have everything about them.
All right.
Now, I have told you about uniform. We have uniform. We have identity cards. We have uniform. In fact, while we have been trying to evolve, we've been able to get another set of uniforms. The last time we showcased the uniform of the new uniform of the state command,
right.
And we're about showcasing another new uniform for the community and LGA units.
All right.
The reason for this new uniform is that the nature of our people is such that criminals try to infiltrate. So when even the Nigerian police, I keep making these references, criminals still go to the market and buy clothes and sew police uniforms.
Well, Mr. Mekai,
criminals still wear.
Because of time, we're running out of time on this conversation. And just before we go, there are key issues just to speak to briefly, as quick as possible. One, Jeffrey asked about uniforms. You've spoken to that, thankfully. But let's put this clear, that the core members say they identified themselves, right? So just to put that in context in all of this conversation. But speak to us about this. The AK-47s that we hear that these men carry, where do they get it from? And do they still carry these AK-47s? Because we've heard that time and again. That's on the one hand. Secondly, where are these men right now? If you say that they have been let go, I imagine that you should have internal disciplinary measures, right? So it should have been beyond just dismissing them. If men have done such heinous crime, I choose to call it that, then there should be more than that the state itself should do beyond whether or not the core members want to press charges. For all you care, these men may be somewhere else even doing much worse, if you get me. So speak to those issues around them bearing AK-47 from what we've heard, and also why didn't you go beyond that?
Okay, let me begin with that of the suspects. Now, do not forget that I told you earlier, I stated it earlier, that we have internal mechanism to discipline our erring officers, depending on the nature or gravity of their offense. Now, they are facing that internal disciplinary measures. As I told you, they are not in service. I haven't said they have been dismissed. I said they are not in service now. They are on suspension, but they are within our reach. And I want to repeat, if the core members or their families want the matter moved to the needs prosecution today, we are going to move the suspects with the case file to the police.
So let me get this clear. They've not been dismissed.
We have not moved them to the police for prosecution because, I want to repeat, for the same reason you are not able to play the entire video.
Just to be clear, you're saying that they have not been dismissed, they've only been suspended, so there's a possibility that they will be reabsorbed. But if that is not the case, what are the options for this disciplinary measure? What are the options available for you?
They are suspended because the first thing you do is when a prima facie case has been established against somebody, you suspend the person, then hand him over for proper investigation. Now, since we are not readily prepared for that prosecution, which will be carried out by the police, they are now undergoing other disciplinary measures within our system. Pending when pending the final determination of the matter, whether they are going to court or they are not going to court, as it relates to the victims. After which, we now determine their fate. That is about that. And as I said earlier, we are not sweeping anything under the carpet.
All right, sir. So let's speak to the claims around AK-47 quickly because of time. Let's speak to those claims around them bearing AK-47.
Now, there is nothing like any member of Agune Chamber bearing AK-47. These are allegations, unfounded allegations, coming from those who wish to just dismantle the security outfit for reasons best known to them. The members of Agune Chamber do not bear AK-47.
All right. And I think that's a great place.
AK-47.
And that's a great place to anchor, Mr. Emekai. Because of time, that's a great place to anchor. Yes, indeed, in that video, we saw them bearing pump actions, but we've heard time and again that they may just be bearing AK-47, so it's important for you to have cleared the air on this one. All we want is security for Anambra State and to ensure that the security operatives do their work as they ought to. That is the interest here. And we wish you the very best for you and, of course, this state in its fight against insecurity. We've been speaking with the Special Advisor to Governor Soludo on Community Security, Mr. Ken Emekai.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this matter is not done with just yet. We have another side to the story in a moment. Stay with us.